So we want to make sure our order is correct. I'm going to put in parentheses 4, 2, negative 1, 3, plus 2, negative 3, 5, negative 4. And then we're multiplying that by 2, negative 3, 4, 2. It's got to be kept in parentheses. The addition comes first. So it's 4 and 2 is 6. 2 and negative 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 and 5 is 4. 3 and negative 4 is negative 1. And that's what we're multiplying. And it has to be written in this order. Has to be. Row times column. 6 times 2 plus negative 1 times 4. Row times your second column. 6 times negative 3 plus negative 1 times 2. Second row, first column. 4 times 2 plus negative 1 times 4. Second row, second column. 4 times negative 3 plus negative 1 times 2. Now we clean it up. 6 times 2 is 12, and negative 4, that's 8. Negative 18 and negative 2 is negative 20. And negative 4 is 4. Negative 12 and negative 2 is negative 14. And that's our answer. Right. The order does matter. So once again, my advice is write the problem out. C minus B at, I'm going to write 2, negative 3, 4, 2. Minus, I've got to write the B first. 2, negative 3, 5, negative 4. Times my A, which is 4, 2, negative 1, 3. Okay? It's got to be that. 2, negative 3, 4, 2. Minus, and now I'm multiplying here. Row times column. 2 times 4. Negative 3 times negative 1. 2 times 2. Negative 3 times 3. So it's that top row times each column. Then I go to the second row. 5 times 4 plus negative 4 times negative 1. 5 times 2 plus negative 4 times 3. And you can check here. 2, negative 3 is throughout my first row. 5, negative 4 is throughout my second row. 4, negative 1 is my first column. 2, 3 is throughout my second column. So 2, negative 3, 4, 2, and we're going to subtract this new matrix. 8 and 3 is 11. 4 and negative 9 is negative 5. 20 and 4 is 24. 10 and negative 12 is negative 2. 2 minus 11, negative 9. Negative 3 minus a negative 5 is 2. 4 minus 24 is negative 20. And 2 minus a negative 2 is 4. And that's my answer. I forgot I got to record it. So we start from the beginning, then I'll come back to you, okay? So we got to write down our problem. 2, negative 3, 5, negative 4. And then in parentheses, 2, negative 3, 4, 2, minus 4, 2, negative 1, 3. Okay, and actually I'll do it because I'm putting it in the recording. 2, negative 3, 5, negative 4, times, and then 2 minus 4, negative 2. Negative 3 minus 2, negative 5. 4 minus a negative 1 is 5. And 2 minus 3 is a negative 1. And then we need to multiply these two. So now we're doing 2 times negative 2 plus negative 3 times 5. 2 times negative 5 plus negative 3 times negative 1. Then we come to the second row. 5 times negative 2 plus negative 4 times 5. And then 5 times negative 5 plus negative 4 times negative 1. And then you clean it up. Negative 4 and negative 15, negative 19. Negative 10 and 3 is negative 7. Negative 10 and negative 20 is negative 30. Negative 25 and 4 is negative 21. And there's our answer. All right, so when we do these by Kramers rule, this is my advice. Write down your 3 matrices first. We replace the x column with the numbers to the right of the equal sign. We keep that y coefficient column. Then we keep the x coefficient column and replace the y coefficient column with the numbers to the right of the equal sign. Now this might be the biggest hint I can give. You put a subtraction sign down first. And then it's 3 times negative 3 minus 2 times 5. Negative 9 minus 10 is negative 19. Negative 9 times negative 3, 13 times 5. This is how you don't lose negative signs. 27 minus 65 is negative 38. 13 times 3 minus 2 times a negative 9. 39 minus a negative 18 is 57. And now our x value, negative 38 over negative 19 is 2. Y, 57 over negative 19 is negative 3. So that's your answer, 2, negative 3. My advice, plug it in. 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 6 and negative 15 is negative 9. 2 times 2 is 4, negative 3 times negative 3 is 9, 4 and 9 is 13. You should be able to check your work. You should be able to hand the test in and let me know whether you're right or you're wrong. Second one, 3, 2, 4, negative 3. I replace the x coefficients. I replace the y coefficients. Once again, I'm going to put a subtraction sign down first. 3 times negative 3, 4 times 2. Negative 9 minus 8 is negative 17. 12 times negative 3, negative 1 times 2. Negative 36 minus a negative 2 is negative 34. 3 times negative 1 minus 4 times 12. Negative 3 minus 48 is a negative 51. X equals negative 34 over negative 17, that's 2. Y equals negative 51 over negative 17, that's 3. So my answer to this one is 2, 3. 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 6 and 6 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 3 is 9, 8 minus 9 is negative 1. You have to set 3 matrices. 4, negative 2, 3, 1. This one becomes 22, negative 2, 14, 1. This one becomes 4, 22, 3, 14. Alright, you get a matrix from the coefficients. I replace the x coefficients with numbers to the right of equal sign. I replace the y coefficients with numbers to the right of equal sign. Put my minus signs down right away. 4 times 1, 3 times negative 2. That's 4 minus a negative 6, you get 10. 22 times 1 minus 14 times a negative 2. That's 22 minus a negative 28. That makes it addition. 22 and 28 is 50. 4 times 14 minus 3 times 22. That's 56 minus 66. That's negative 10. So my x, 50 over 10 equals 5. My y, negative 10 over 10 is negative 1. So my answer is 5, negative 1. This you'll get a fractional answer. 4, negative 5, 12, 10. Subtract. Replace the 4 and 12, so it's negative 1, 7 for that first column, negative 5 and 10. 4 and 12 stays. I replace the y's with negative 1, 7. Now I put my subtraction signs down. 4 times 10 minus negative 5 times 12. 40 minus a negative 60 is 100. Negative 1 times 10 minus 7 times negative 5. Negative 10 minus a negative 35 is a positive 25. 4 times 7 minus 12 times negative 1. 28 minus a negative 12 becomes 40. My x is 25 over 100, which is 1/4. My y is 40 over 100, which is 2/5. So there's your answer. 1/4 and 2/5.